spooky friends, and welcome to another Storytime episode with the Scariest Podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grays, and this is Adam Diaz, and
Hello.
we're going to read you guys some stories, I guess, today.
Indeed we are. I'm pretty excited because the stories that we're going to be reading are your stories, so thank you so much to everyone who sent them. We really appreciate you. Shout out to Carly, who just subscribed for the
Thank you so much.
month using your Amazon Prime membership that's been linked to your Twitch. Anyone who has Amazon Prime, you have free $5 redues that you can give to anyone once a month on Twitch. Shout out to Kat Beatrix, who just subscribed for the fourth month, also using Prime. Basically, this is free money that Amazon says, hey, you can give this out if you want to. Otherwise, we're going to keep it. So we really appreciate you giving us Amazon's money. It means a lot to us. But back to the show, we're going to read your stories, and we call those homegrown horrors. Now, Robin, what's a homegrown horror?
So homegrown horrors are the awesome, supernatural, paranormal, spiritual, sleep paralysis, sleepwalking, premonition stories of you, your friends, your family. So if you guys have anybody in your lives that might have some interesting stories, go ahead and ask them and send them to us so we can read them back to you.
Or tell them to start listening to the podcast, and then they can send them themselves, and we really appreciate that.
Yep.
So it's really exciting to see these things come in from all around the world, because we really do get them from all around the world, and to see like not just the different things that happen to people all around the world, but the similar things that happen. So it's always a really fun time to read these. And before we go any further, I just want to remind everyone, if you want to watch us read these live, you can. 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesdays, which is what time it is right meow, kind of. And you can watch us at twitch.tv/scarishpodcast or youtube.com/scarish. And thank you to everyone who has joined us live. We appreciate every single one of you. And I think I'm actually going to wind up starting this week.
Cool.
So I'm just going to jump right into the first story. And the subject is can read on podcast, which is a pretty solid subject to have. That way we don't have to try and have someone like sift through it to see whether or not it's a private one that we need to reply to immediately. Because sometimes you guys send us those and we do want to respond to you. And that's totally cool too. If you have something you want to talk to us about, please feel free to do so. We actually just got one. It just popped up on my screen. So yeah, we just got a website submission. So thank you so much for sending that to us. But I'm going to get into this email. It starts out like this. Hello, Adam, Robin,
Hello.
and Scary-ish friends.
Oh, hello.
Hello. All the Scary-ish friends now say hello as well. And no matter where you're at, just yell it out loud and make yourself look like a crazy person. It's Scarlett again. I just listened to my first email that I sent to you. I'm not that good with anything social, so when I heard my email, my heart was beating so fast. I understand the feeling. I feel that way every time I see Robin. I just want to say that you guys, because I'm afraid she's going to beat me. I just want to say that you guys are relatable and funny. You're welcome, Adam. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I think it's funny because it's like, obviously Robin is, but Adam, I guess I'll give that to you. Anyway, I was able to get a replacement demon away jewelry thing. I remember Scarlett's first story was about an object that like prevented things from happening, and then they eventually lost it. Mm-hmm. I think it might have been tied into their grandmother or their grandfather. I'm not sure. I'll have to look back on it, and hopefully it tells us. There you go. My grandmother gave me earrings, and the reason it's like a demon away thing is because my grandmother is very religious, and knowing that I have something that she gave me kind of protects me. Totally understand that. And now I have a fan, so this way the demons can't make me suffer in the heat. I suggest everyone has a fan and has it on them at all times. Anyway, earlier this week I was in study hall, and the lights were acting weird. I guess. We had a blackout for a little while, and lights were flickering, and it was really creepy. It was kind of an eerie feeling. So this group of friends I was with, and then in parentheses it says, not the other group of friends from my second email, because I kind of separated from them. Not because of the story that I sent, just because they were fake and sometimes use me just because I'm known to be one of the smartest people in the class.
Wow.
Modest a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, people will use you.
Horn. Toot, toot.
Be aware of that in life. People will use you, and it's totally, you're okay to separate from people that are toxic. They just use me for answers and things like that, which I'm pretty sure if you do things like that, you'll get kicked out of school, but they haven't yet. Unless they like get straight up caught, they probably won't get kicked out of school. And in most cases, people are just like slapped on the wrist and given an F on whatever they were caught cheating at. I have so many people I know that cheated like everything they ever did.
We just played like a game of
Never Have I Ever.
And
but it's like the card game that you buy at like Target,
yeah,
so it's like the G-rated version.
Right. But
one of the cards was
have you ever cheated?
Have you ever cheated on a test? And the other one was like, have you ever seen an R-rated movie?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is getting really intense.
Like at R-rated movies?
But yeah, I was just like, cheating on a test? Yup. Don't ask me. The email goes on. Anyway, so the lights were flickering. And I said, I guess Satan's come to take me away back to hell where I belong. Me and him, friends forever.
Wow.
A couple seconds later, the lights magically turned on and stayed on. I was like, well, not even Satan wants to be friends with me. And a crying face. Probably shouldn't be friends with Satan, but still. I hope you like my scary/funny story. I hope you have a lovely day. I love you guys. Keep doing what you do. Listen to you guys makes me really happy, and I appreciate how you guys are great at all, or at least trying to be. Bye.
Oh,
thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
From what I've learned from Lucifer, Lucifer is not a bad guy.
Do not advocate for the devil on our show.
But
that is a work of fiction.
I love that show. It's pretty cute.
It is an okay show.
It's super
at
campy.
Best.
It's super campy and it's super cute. But I love Tom Ellis.
I really like Tom Ellis.
The show has Lucifer be not such a bad guy. Like, he's trying to, fight with himself. Like, is he evil? Is he not evil? Did his dad make him evil? Like,
realistically, the idea of Lucifer having more depth than just being like the sum of all evil makes sense, especially since like he's supposed to deceive people and blah 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 blah. So yeah, there's a lot of room for story. It's just because it's on Fox and it's super super cheesy because it's like cable.
Well, it's on Netflix now.
Not cable, a network show. Yeah, you're right. It is on Netflix now. I hope he drops a few F-bombs and things get a little bit more adult.
We'll see, because I haven't gotten to season 4 yet. That's the only Netflix season, so
we'll see what happens.
We'll find out. This has been the fucking Netflix corner or something.
This is the Lucifer corner.
Anyway,
I think it's funny though because they bring this up, and there's so many times where people do stuff like this, and like randomly and coincidentally, and this is kind of what we talk about when we say coincidental emails, where something happens as if in response to what you're doing, and you kind of know you didn't really affect it, you just had really good timing. But in situations like this, you're like, oh, here's the devil come to take me home, and the lights turn on, you're like, oh, well, fuck me, I guess, never mind.
Well, it's like you were saying the time you guys were playing with the Ouija board, and then the radio just happened to be static. It could have been anything.
Do I think demons showed up? Not really. But just in case, we put that Ouija board away, and I'm never going to mess with it again. Just saying. So
we actually went to a psychic shop.
We did.
This past weekend.
Something was calling me there.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yeah, obviously. Okay. We were waiting for 45 minutes to get into Hot and Juicy.
Yeah, we were waiting for a restaurant reservation. And so we walked to this psychic shop, and it was actually surprisingly interesting. And
I wasn't that surprised. I figured they'd have really cool shit in there, and they did.
Well, I mean, I've never actually gone in one before.
Oh, okay.
So it was interesting for me. And they had a whole bunch of different wind chimes. They had this really cool...
They had a $650 set of wind chimes.
It was giant.
They were basically...
Was, like, as tall as this room.
It was an organ with like out the piano set up to it. And like when we rung it... It
reverberated for minutes.
What did you say it sounded like?
I don't know.
A gong. You said it sounded like a gong. But I mean, they had the normal stuff that a spiritual shop will have. They had like crystals and incense and books. They had a whole
bunch of Ouija boards.
Yeah.
They had like a black scrying mirror, and my sister saw it, and she's just like, "Nope, I don't know why you would want that, but okay."
They had pocket-sized Ouija boards for like $6. I was like, just in case you want to get possessed on the go.
They had a lot of little planchettes and super cool stuff like that. But Damn It dolls, I had never heard of a Damn It doll before.
I've never heard of it before.
Until this past Christmas, my coworker got one from the White Elephant. And apparently, it's just this doll that when you get really angry, you just smash it against your desk.
And you're supposed to like tie a piece of hair to it and say a prayer of a person you don't like so that they feel that.
It's not a voodoo doll.
I get confused all the time.
But if you guys have a local psychic shop, go in there, check it out.
Don't be a dick. Like, I'm skeptical. I went in there and I checked out the stuff and I wasn't rude. And like when we rang the wind chimes, everyone was like, that sounds really nice. It's really peaceful.
Yeah, the person that worked there, she's like, please ring it because it makes me feel good.
We thought they were going to tell us no. And she said that they're attuned to each of your chakras to relax you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess so. Cool. And then someone was like, oh, I just feel so relaxed. And in my head, I was like, shut up. Just kidding. That was totally Robin's sister. I was just like rolling my eyes like, don't placate her. She knows she's being lied to. She's psychic. So, yeah, it was a fun time.
All right. To our next story. It was a website submission, too. So
we had like 5 out of 6 were website submissions this week.
Yeah, so you guys, it's super easy. Go to scarish.com. There's a contact us page. Write your story in there. Press send. And we'll get it, which is kind of cool. Thank you for setting that up. You're so fancy.
No problem.
All right. This next email here is from Taylor. And the subject line says, big ol' what the fuck.
Pretty good.
Solid.
Now we know what we're getting into.
Yeah, now we know. Annoying is half the battle.
G.I. Joe. I don't know if that's going to get taken down, so I didn't want to do it in the tune.
I'm sure it's... Okay. Anyway, it begins. Hi, Alfalfa and Robin.
Hello.
Alfalfa,
do I have an Alfalfa today? Yes. It's the kid from
that's like...
Little Rascals with the Point. I don't think... My hair's okay. I know Gil Six said he hoped my hair was all fucked up. Because that one episode
looks okay.
when I was messing with it, my part's not clean, but I didn't try and make it clean today. So
apologies if this is garbage. I'm typing on my phone without my glasses, and I can't see much of anything, but here we go.
It's told through emojis, like if it were hieroglyphics.
Sorry, Adam. That's literally what it says. All right, so I love the pod. Been listening since the beginning. Y'all the bomb.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
And where I have been blessed so far as to not have spooky shit happen to me ever, that ship sailed for me the other night. So I woke up and I looked at my phone to make sure my work alarms were set. It was around 3:07-ish when I checked my phone, made sure the volume was up, and put it down so I could go back to sleep. I closed my eyes but felt restless. All of a sudden, I hear something weird near my bed. It sounds like heavy, rhythmic breathing. Anytime you hear breathing that is not your own or someone that you know near you, something's up.
If it's rhythmic, though, I mean, it's obviously steady and like to a beat, but every time I hear rhythmic, I just hear like, what? Why do you look at me like that?
What is that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe just a random beat I thought. If you're looking at me like I said something,
it's just
horrible.
It sounded so weird. Someone posted a meme. I don't know if it was in the Facebook group or whatnot, but it was like, I was in class and heard heavy breathing over my shoulder, and it was just a picture of a Rottweiler sitting there in class. It was really cute. Anyway, so rhythmic breathing. Now I have pulsatile tinnitus, but I could hear both the breathing and my tinnitus on separate times. I hope that's how you say it.
Tinnitus for sure. Pulsatile? I have no idea. I've never heard of that word. Sounds kind of sexy though.
All right. Like I'd hear the breathing and
you're supposed to practice stuff like yes and when it comes to like interacting with each other. Robin deliberately practices no fuck you. Like for anyone who listens, you've probably already picked up on that.
Like I'd hear the breathing and it was like raspy, heavy, and then my goddamn tinnitus is just annoying and ringing. I felt a pressure on the side of my bed. Nope. No. Ghosts. And I start internally freaking the fuck out. I tried to open my eyes, but I was honestly too scared. I'd be in the same boat. And my body was not ready for a fight at 3 a.m. But the devil would win anyway, because that's his time to shine. I tried to fake sleep. It's
just so funny when people try and fake sleep. Like, if you really think there's this, like, omnipresent evil looking over you, and you're like, but if I keep my eyes closed, they'll just sit there and check their watch and tap their foot kind of thing.
What I've realized from fake sleeping is that your heart rate changes. So whatever is waiting can tell if you're breathing.
Plus you
like
stop
you're
snoring.
Sleeping. Right. And so fake sleeping, it's like, can't get away with that fake sleeping crap.
I fake sleep. If I'm ever really scared, I'll fake sleep and I'll just be so dramatic about my snoring. So like whatever demon's there is like, holy shit, is he gonna die? I'll just go way over the top, but I try and like mimic it to the point where it's like they're like, you know what, I'll see him in hell. Like he's gonna be down there in a minute anyways. To you?
Yes.
No, I just sleep.
All right.
I mean, as much as I can because you wake me up constantly. So.
Wake me up.
I was so sleepy on Tuesday at work. And I sent her a meme. I was just like, hey, like, tell me a story. I'm falling asleep at my desk. And I sent her a meme of that music video is like, wake me up. And then she wasn't sending me anything. And so I sent her the other one. I was like, I can't wake up. And I don't think she wound up telling me a story.
I did say something.
Like, just something super quick where I was like, this isn't a story.
I told you something random. Anyway, okay. So I tried to fake sleep and eventually did pass out, either from extreme exhaustion or absolute terror. Who knows? Now, I wake up at 6:10 a few hours later, an hour past my alarms, which sucks because they literally checked to see if the alarm was on. So they made sure it was on.
And you still slept through an alarm.
Through it. I shoot up in bed because I have to be at work. And I look at my phone. Both alarms are off. The phone is on silent and I'm late as fuck. So I don't know if I turned it off in the night, which I've never done, or my sleep demon breathing visitor from last night wanted to fuck me over. Who knows? But I was late for work and I could still hear that heavy rhythmic breathing in my head on my drive to work. I eventually got it out of my head while I was working, but now I'm laying in bed, setting my alarms for the gym and hoping my demon doesn't come back to play tonight because I'm real fucking tired. Anyway, keep on creeping on. I'm hoping I just had a realistic dream or something, because with my work schedules, I have no time to exercise a demon. Love you guys.
Love you too.
That's hilarious.
That was really good. And I think that's one of those things where, like, thank you to the Snark who just subscribed for the 9th month says, thanks for coming out this weekend. How amazing was that food? We had brunch with the Snark for his 30th birthday.
Congratulations,
the Snark. Thank you for inviting us. It was amazing, and we're going to have to go back to that place.
We came home and we're like, Linda, you have to try this. We're going to have to go back because the food was so good.
In addition, I need a nap right away. Sorry for not showing up at the pool, but I was like, I am done for the day. And I really did just kind of shut it down after that. So
I need some of that ube like toast. Ube pancakes.
It's a place called Truffles and Bacon,
yeah.
Which is in Henderson / the Green Valley area in Las Vegas. So if you're local, try it out. There's a bunch of amazing stuff on the menu. It was literally like the struggle. You know, sometimes you see a menu, you're like, I don't know exactly what I want because nothing sounds great.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where like everything sounds really effing good. So I'm going to have to come here multiple times.
Right.
So again, thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. That was great.
Yeah. I want to point out for this story, it sounds like if there was a demon or a ghost or something like that, the rhythmic thing you were hearing was them laughing because they were turning off your alarms. They're like, exactly. Like, I think the Spy versus Spy, like that kind of laugh where it sounds evil, but it's really just really mischievous. So that's what I took from the story. So I hope that's the case and you didn't get messed with a bunch because at some point, or maybe they're really benevolent and they're like, you know what? You're really tired. I'm just going to turn off your alarm. Like, get some sleep.
You need some beauty sleep.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe that's the case.
And maybe the rhythmic breathing could be like them trying to sneak into the bed and like breathing real slow, making sure not to panic, to reach your phone and turn it off. And they're like, they're sleeping. I can do whatever I want.
Wow, that got really weird really fast.
No, with the phone.
Okay. I was like, they're creeping onto the bed. They're like, I can do whatever I want.
Or they felt pressure on the bed.
I heard that part, yeah. I think they're just sitting next to them evaluating whether or not you were tired and decided that you deserve some sleep.
All right.
So that's what I'm going to go with on that one. But thank you for sending it. And anyone who has a story like that, please send it.
Yeah,
also,
I hope you got to the gym on time.
Before we move on to our next story, just going to point out Winchester Mystery House meetup is less than 2 weeks away. It's Sunday, June 9th, so it's super soon. So if you're going to be in town, you haven't bought your ticket yet, we're going to be there at noon. It's the Basic Bitch Tour. That's not what it's actually called, but it's the Basic Tour.
I don't think the Winchester would appreciate you calling it that.
I'm pretty sure it's around $39. They didn't sponsor us to go, so I'll call it whenever I want.
Oh, yeah.
But that said,
Winchester,
we would love,
if you want, please sponsor us.
We would
Give
love
us some free
to
tickets.
have you here. Shout out to Captain Fake Eye who just joined us
Thank you so much.
on Twitch. We appreciate you having you here. So if you're going to be in the San Jose area and you want to join us, please, June 9th, noon, we're going to be going to the Winchester Mystery House.
Yep.
And then that Saturday previously, we're going to be in the area, so we're going to try and do a little meetup to get like probably food or a snack or boba or basically whatever Robin wants in the moment. So we'll keep you folks posted on that, but we hope we can see you there. We know some of you are coming and we're very excited. So I guess we can go ahead and move on to the next story. I will say Akasuna no Kairi just resubscribed for the 8th month. Thank you so much to all you wonderful folks resubscribing. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to my next one.
All right.
This next one, I was going to say the subject is website submission 05902. That's not true. The subject is Storytime. So I think the other one sounded more like it was sent by a robot, but it starts like this. Hi, Robin and Adam.
Hi.
Hello. For our audio listeners, Robin also waved. Your podcast was recommended me by my peckerhead buddy Aaron a while back, and I've been trying to catch up on episodes.
He's not such a pecker if he's,
We appreciate that, Aaron. I don't think you're a peckerhead. I saw you guys post about how you record listener stories on Wednesday, so I hope this gets to you in time. I'm from Vancouver Island, and I grew up on a reservation in a very spiritual family. We are Coast / Salish, I surely said that wrong, and Blackfoot. So my great-grandpa would always tell us, in parentheses, us as in me and all my siblings and cousins, legends and stories about the land and spiritual beings that we should be aware of. My great-grandpa owned a bunch of land, a large section of which contains farmland and a huge forest area. That is awesome. He would tell us stories that many years ago the land was used in important cultural events where people would go to become quote-unquote reborn. It gets kind of complicated in that sense, so I'll just say that it's very important and the community knows the forest area to be a spiritual area and to be respectful of it. Anyway, to kind of paint a picture of the area, you would have to drive a few minutes off the road to get to the farm, which was about the size of 4 football fields. That's pretty good. It's a lot of land.
Yeah, it's a lot of land.
Off the back of the farmland, he had a gate where he kept cows and horses, and behind this area was the huge forest. Now, the forest, I'm picturing Heartland, and I hate so much that I've seen that stupid show where this is what I'm picturing now. I want to hit my head until it leaves my head.
I love Heartland.
She really
love
does,
Heartland so
and
much.
I hate it so much. All right, I'm gonna
so good.
I want to get back into this.
Canada's princess.
I want to get back into this rich tapestry that's being woven for me by our listener who sent this, because I think that this can push Heartland out of my head. All right, now, the forest is so dense that you can't really see into it even during the day unless you really go back behind the first tree line. In the summer, my great-grandpa would grow a shit ton of strawberries in his farmland, and when I was little, I would go with him to help, in parentheses, JK, just to eat a bunch of strawberries. And I would always get this weird feeling like we were being watched by something in the forest and there was that kind of feeling where the hair on the back of your neck stands up. It didn't help that my great-grandpa would just smile and say, well, if you ever encounter anything in the forest, just hug it and you will absorb its power. I have never heard that. That is very good to know. Then the next sentence is like, what the fuck? I totally agree. Like, you see something terrifying, your first instinct is going to be to run away or fight it.
That's why I hug bears all the time.
I wouldn't think, hug a bear to absorb its power. That's why Robin's bare hands are spelled BEAR now. All right. As we got older, me and my cousins...
Pause.
I hate you so much. Me and my cousins would adventure into the forest during the day, but again, we would always get that creepy feeling like we were being watched. We would even experience a deafening silence, which was super creepy because one minute you're happy walking through the forest, listening to the birds, and then everything just stops.
Who teaches kids to hug random things in the forest?
It's anything that you encounter. So it's not random
if it's like
things, really.
I've encountered a stranger. I'm gonna hug it.
I think it's very clear that this was like of the paranormal variety. It's not like if you see a homeless dude jerking off in the forest line, go give him a hug.
Oh, if you see the Candyman in the forest, hug him.
Oh, God. All right,
Jesus
getting
Christ.
back to it. Anyway, and it says anyway. Although we would get a creepy feeling around the forest and experience the creepy silence, we never really heard or saw anything in the forest during the day. I like that there's the qualifier during the day. Years later, I was about 12 and having a sleepover with my cousins. My great-grandpa called my mom and asked her to drive up to the farm and turn off the giant sprinklers that he had left on to water the strawberries, as he was too tired/old to go up there at this time. It was about midnight, so understandable, my mom didn't want to leave us alone and made us all pile into her SUV and drive up there to go turn them off. We were having fun during the drive until we got to the road that leads to the farm. There was this weird energy in the air and made us all go quiet, even my mom. As we drove up to the sprinklers, me and my cousin kept looking at the forest because it seemed even more ominous at night. My mom ended... Go ahead.
Forests are always scary to me. And when it's nighttime, the canopies cut out any type of light. So any moonlight that might slip in and give any sort of light in there, it's just cut off by the trees, and it's a million times worse. Like, of course it looks creepier.
And when
at
you
night.
live in like a really when you live in like a really rural area, like sometimes you have like a 2-lane road or a single lane road that's so small that the forest just creates that tunnel, you know, where the canopy isn't just like kind of obscuring, it's like completely obscuring the sky. Well, and that's when it gets really creepy.
In Indiana, they have those fields, right? They have fields where you plant all your stuff, and then in the middle of the field might be a square area that just has trees, and it's just thick trees.
You just don't plant in some areas for specific reasons. The farmers know their land.
Isn't there like a house in the middle of that or anything?
Not normally. Usually the houses are built like near a road. They're not in the middle of the field where you have to drive through your field to get to something. But sometimes there's like, houses built like into the onset of a field. But yeah, Indiana has lots and lots of trees. I grew up around.
It's scary. It's just like, why would you have random forests?
I told her she was driving home from a bar when we were visiting Indiana. And I told her, like, what you really need to be afraid of is deer. So just drive nice and slow. And like, as soon as I said that, 2 deer crossed the road. And I was like, see, fucking told you, man. Like, deer are everywhere out here, especially during that season.
It's crazy.
All right, getting back to this email. My mom ended up driving as close as she could to the sprinkler shutoff, but had to walk the rest of the way because of farm junk being in the way. So here we are, me, my brother, and my 2 cousins in the back of my mom's SUV while she gets out in the pitch darkness with her to walk her path to the sprinklers only lit up by the headlights.
My
mom left her
That's
car.
like a horror movie.
My mom left her car door open.
Oh my God.
And was obviously creeped out too. So she was trying to walk fast without tripping, and then we hear it.
No, what? No.
I just got cold chills. This guttural, loud, creepy screech came from the forest. I swear we all almost shit our pants. It was like this whooping sound and screeching coming from the forest that we had never heard before. It sounds like an owl to me. I've heard owls screech before, and it's fucking horrifying. Or it's La Lucchesa. So my mom, upon hearing this screeching, hauls ass to the sprinklers and shuts them off. That's a good daughter, or granddaughter, because she still accomplished the task she went up there for instead of noping the fuck out, and runs back to the SUV. We all sat there for a second, scared shitless, listening to this thing scream in the forest, which then started to sound like breaking sticks and branches. We peeled out of there and went home, where my mom lit some sage to help us calm down, because, like, fuck, were we gonna sleep that night? We later told my great-grandpa about it, and he just silently nodded and told us to keep out of the forest for a while. It's smart. Well, anyways, I have a bunch of other stories from growing up on a creepy-ass reservation, including stories of the little people experiencing sleep paralysis, and even encountering ... a creature which ends in a police investigation, and much more.
No way!
Keep up the good work, and I'm looking forward to hearing what's next. Also, please tell Aaron that he's a hoe, if you could say that on air. I just said
Apparently,
it. So
Aaron,
thank
you're
you.
a hoe.
Thank you for saying that.
But thank you for sharing with your friend.
We appreciate you bringing your friend in, Aaron, and so many of you. And it's just so nice to see people say,
even
like
Sarah, right?
Sarah had mentioned that they evangelize our product. This is just a thing that I say, but really it just means, like, you tell people about it. You tell people, I really like this thing and I think you should listen to it. Sarah told people at the Winchester Mystery House that we're going through to get creeped out, like, you should listen to this podcast. It's called Scary-ish. And, like, when you hear stories like this, or you know people that have stories, it just really helps us build a fan base of the people that are, like, inclusive and wanting to hear each other's stories. And what we're really building is just this giant campfire that a bunch of fun people are sitting around. We can all tell stories to each other, and it's awesome.
And we have had feedback where it's more like not so scary in comparison to scary, and that's why we're called Scary-ish. We're not necessarily here to scare you.
Sometimes I want to scare the shit out of you, and I think those are pretty clear. But when I do that, you usually cover a topic that's not that scary, so we can balance it.
Well, yeah. So this past week I did Blackbeard, which
awesome.
Is super fun. It's just
I want to start
pirate
a fucking
story.
pirate podcast now. It was so much fun.
And then you did your freaking apocalyptic story.
I love like end of world event scenarios. They're just so terrifying and interesting, especially the ones where you're like, oh, this is going to happen. Just wait.
So if you're out there thinking we're here to creep you out and we're here to scare you, sometimes that's the case. And sometimes we really are just a comedy podcast here to have fun.
My favorite thing is to cover a topic where someone's like, this isn't going to be scary. And then by the end of it, you post stuff on Facebook or Discord and it's like, you fucked me up, bro. Like, I can't even stop thinking about
like
this.
The Black-Eyed Children.
Like the Black-Eyed Children, I didn't think it was going to be scary. I even talked about it, that I thought it was fake during the episode. And that's like the most responded to episode. And even Yellowstone. I was afraid no one would think Yellowstone was interesting.
I thought it was
interesting. So many people, the thing that they've said to me so far, and it's been 2 days since it came out, like yesterday and almost all of today, what they've said is like, I'm so thankful for where I live now, or I hate the fact that I live so close to Yellowstone. And it's just, that's what I think about every day. So I'm glad I could inspire that sort of paranoia in you. That said, I really appreciate that story. I want to hear the rest of them. You have me hooked. I can't wait for the sequels. So please send us the rest.
Send them to us.
And have Aaron send...
A creature with a police investigation sounds awesome.
Yeah, have Aaron send anything that he has. And if he doesn't have anything, just send a shout out so we can thank him personally.
Yeah.
Because we appreciate all of you that bring other people in. It's not like a cult that's growing. It's really just like a big group of friends that's getting bigger.
Yeah.
But
so
maybe a
tag
cult.
Us on Twitter.
We're never gonna ask you to drink, Kool-Aid or anything like that. So
I mean, unless it's like really good Kool-Aid.
Scary-ish brand Kool-Aid. Oh my God, we have so many ideas. Okay.
So this next email subject is creepy dorm. I'm gonna pretext this and say I've never stayed in a dorm. All I know about dorms is what I've seen on TV.
By TV, she means Pornhub.
No, I don't like that porn, okay? I watch better stuff. Anyway, I have taste.
Wow, way to judge all of our porn star listeners who have filmed in dorms.
Oh, anyway, no. It's a joke, okay? We're a comedy podcast. Anyway, so... all I've seen, it's like from Buffy when they live in the dorm,
right.
Stuff like that.
Those are not dorms. So, like that Buffy dorm, that's an apartment.
Yeah,
like,
right.
A dorm is like a prison cell, maybe smaller in most cases.
So I don't know anything about dorms, so this will be interesting for me. It begins. Hey, Adam and Robin. There's multiple Y's. That's why I said like that.
Hey.
I finally got around to writing this experience that I had when I was a freshman at California State University, Channel Islands, CI for short. I've been meaning to do this since like the first Homegrown Horror episode, but I am incredibly lazy. Speaking to my heart, I am so lazy. I apologize for the grammar and any other mistakes. I am not a writer, not one bit. Neither am I. That's what I have him for.
You never have to apologize to us. You always have to apologize to my mother who edits these, because sometimes she lets us know, like, they weren't that bad. Or she'll let us know, like, this one is really well written. I barely had to do anything. And then sometimes she basically tells us, like, it was a shit show today. Like, it was so bad. So shout out to my mom for fixing these and making them legible.
Yes, if you guys ever send us any gifts or anything, always add something in for the Spooky Mom. She's awesome. She really does a lot of work.
And she does it in between working from home.
Yes.
So she does a lot of work.
So this will be kind of long, and I'm sorry, but you guys can do whatever you want with it. A little background on CI. It is one of the newest schools added to the California State University system. It was opened in 2002, and it is located in Ventura County, Camarillo, California. I hope it's Camarillo and not Camarillo, because I don't know how to read that.
You'll probably get away with either of them. So.
To be exact. It is a very small campus and school in general. It is isolated from the main town, surrounded by agriculture fields. Agriculture fields? I don't know why I said agriculture incorrectly. Anyway.
I thought she said it correctly both times.
Oh, sweet. And the Santa Monica Mountains and more ag fields. So it gets pretty freaking dark. It's like you live in the middle of a forest. Pretty much,
wow,
right?
And we just got done talking about a forest.
Anywho, it's not the scary part, but it could be a little scary-ish. What?
It's like people understand how to use that word.
Anywho, this campus may have been opened in 2002, but prior to that, it was used as a state mental hospital. Camarillo State Mental Hospital operated from 1936 to 1997. This is like an episode in itself.
Yeah, good work. Cool. Good research. They could be making all this up, but it sounds like really good research.
Yeah, that took a while, but here we are. Creepy side note, the plaques of the mental hospital are still displayed on campus buildings. Like, that's what you see on your way to class. What?
I mean, how creepy are the plaques? Is it like electroshock therapy building? Unless it's something like that.
Or
wouldn't be too terribly
I'm imagining
terrifying?
a sign that says mental hospital, like da-da-da-da-da, mental hospital, and whatever building number or whatnot. You know what I mean? Also, all the buildings used when it ran as a hospital are the same ones used as classrooms and dorms. Like, how fucking creepy is that? There are certain places on campus where you can see inside the buildings and see the beds, the drawings, the old furniture they used as a hospital. That's insane. Get it? Mental hospital?
Yeah.
Anyway, also our campus...
Good word usage and then turkey gobble.
Also, our campus library is... I think I do a pretty good turkey gobble.
She thinks she's funny is what that comes down to.
Also, our campus library is a new building, but the basement was the mortuary for the mental hospital.
Now that's fucking creepy.
I can't believe they just put a school on top of this.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, put the books where the dead bodies used to go. No biggie.
There's a plaque that states, "This tree is planted to honor those who were wrongfully buried here." Something along those lines. I'm so sorry. This is all over the place. It's just so many things about this school. Like, whose idea was it to turn a mental hospital into a school? That is the question of the hour. But I guess save money is the answer, maybe? I don't know.
Probably.
This campus is really beautiful, but it can be freaking creepy. Like, it has a lot of abandoned buildings, and sometimes you feel like someone's watching you from those buildings. I used to feel that when I would run at night around campus. Whenever I felt like that, I just booked it, and I wasn't the only one who felt this either. That's not the point. This is. There was this one night where I wished I could have noped the fuck out, but sadly that wasn't the case. I'm the world's biggest chicken shit, honestly. I'm surprised I can even listen to your podcast. That's because we're funny.
It's because we're scary-ish and not scary AF.
So, like Moira's OPAF. That was the best BlizzCon announcement.
That's just a random reference to a random announcement of BlizzCon about Overwatch.
Sorry. I love Overwatch. Anyway, so that means I wouldn't place myself in a situation involving the paranormal. Nope, nope, nope. I am Mexican American, so as a small child, you learn not to fuck with that shit. Even as an Asian, my parents were like, don't mess with it.
Puerto Ricans are exactly the same.
I feel like everyone teaches their kids that.
No. There's a race out there who doesn't. They're like, let's go investigate.
Oh my God. Okay, no, we're not going to go there. The nights, oh my gosh, the nights leading up to this event were like always chilling, eating, drinking, and studying. Then during dinner, my roommates were discussing a Snapchat that was going around of a little girl in a white gown peeping through the hallway of the freshman dorms. No.
Why would you spread that? I mean, obviously, if it's a joke or a prank,
but it's like
you want to contribute to it,
you know.
But if you're not responsible, why would you do that? I just don't get it, man.
Being a chicken shit, I noped the fuck out of that conversation, knowing if I saw, I would constantly think about it. See, that's the thing. It's like, watch this VHS tape. Then you just constantly think about it, and that's how she knows where you are, and she gets you.
Yeah, but nowadays that really wouldn't be too big of an issue. It's like, watch this VHS tape, and everyone would be like, I don't have one of those anymore. I don't have a
VCR. What if, okay, so say with the Ring, right? What if it's smart enough to duplicate itself onto a DVD? Are you going to give it
the Jumanji theory where it just evolves into into a video game instead of a board game?
Yeah.
I just don't think you can. That dog's not going to hunt twice. You're not going to be able to use that to transition something from an expired premise where it's just like, oh, no one wants to play a board game. Shazam! Now I'm a video game.
Shazam! Okay. Anyway, so continuing on. A week had passed, and I completely forgot about that. I forgot to mention that the freshman dorms were the children's ward. Oh my Lanta! That's why they saw little girls, because it's the ghost of some of the kids that lived there. It's got to be. I lived in a suite apartment that had 2 rooms inside with 3 persons each. My roommates were cool and we had no issues. It's kind of hard to describe the set of the dorm, but I'm going to try my best and include a picture. Within the apartment, there are 2 bedrooms side by side, 1 bathroom, a lavatory with 2 sinks, and...
Lavatory? Where you store your lava?
Lavatory, whatever. It's because we're talking about volcanoes. Anyway, so it's a lavatory with 2 sinks and a small cabinet that has a microwave and drawer for things I hate you. So basically the 2 rooms are side by side, and the bathroom, the main entrance, cabinets, and sinks are in a straight line in order as mentioned right now. Each room has a door with a magnetic lock that could be opened by a magnetic key card. That is fancy.
That is fancy.
And a pin. And they are heavy as fuck.
You can invest in locks like this when you're turning, a mental institution into a school. It's going to be haunted, but we're going to get them fancy locks.
Yeah, ghosts can't get through there. Anyway, to slam a door, it would require a fucking hurricane. Keep that in mind. The insides of the room have the same setup. The main entrance and the closet are on the same wall. The bunk beds were perpendicular to each other, so we had a clear view of the entire room and the door. I slept on the top bunk, my roommate Casey slept below me on the bunk bed, and our third roommate Haley slept on the lofted bed that had her desk under it instead of another bed. One night, I was having trouble falling asleep. I like my sleep, so that was weird. I like sleep too.
I do too.
My phone tells me how long I sleep every day.
I don't want to get too nerdy, but Pokemon just did announce a bunch of games, and one of them's called Pokemon Sleep that somehow gives you credit for sleeping, and I'm like, I'm a fucking dominate at this game.
Oh my gosh, that's weird. I kept waking up at every hour. It was midnight when I was finally falling asleep again. It was a Thursday night, and I had an early 8 a.m. math class. Ew. Very ew. 8 a.m. math classes are the worst, and it's annoying because you can't just skip it. Because it's math. You have to go. And so for the past 2 semesters, I've made sure my math class is at 10 or 11. Because I'm not waking up at 8.
When you transition from classes to actual work at 8 a.m., the difference is when you go to class at 8 a.m., you're like, oh, I got to get here and I got to do the assignment or I got to take a test. You get to work and it's just a bunch of other people looking at each other like, God, I wish I was dead. Let's all go get coffee together. And there's at least that camaraderie of let's put off adulting for another 30 minutes.
So I needed to be asleep. I woke up around 2 a.m. when I kept hearing noises in the hallway near the cabinet. We would sleep with the door open because I don't know why, but we did. But sometimes you don't need to have it closed. If you trust all your other roommates to not be dicks and make noise and stuff while you're sleeping, might as well leave it open. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've always had the room, no matter where I've lived, I've always had the room that gets the least amount of air from the vents. You know that because you've lived with me for 6 years.
Yeah.
It always winds up happening. So leaving the door open is a staple, or else my room gets to 95 degrees and I melt in the night.
It's because I'm hot heat.
It's true. It's also a good band.
I really like them. Anyway, so from my perspective, I had a clear view of the main entrance and the cabinet. It was dark, but the blinds let in enough light from outside to see a cup. I kept staring at the cabinet because I kept hearing a noise. Then I saw the cup being lifted and put down. I tried to focus my eyes to see if what I saw was real. It moved again, and I hid under my blanket.
You have a ghost that's testing their abilities,
I was
like
gonna
Patrick
say
Swayze
that!
in Ghost. Someone's out there Swayzeing, and they're trying to figure out what they can move and what they can't.
They're trying to see what they can lift, if they can lift it, or they don't know that they're dead, and they're like, man, I'm thirsty.
I'm so thirsty. That's so
Yeah.
sad.
So I tried to focus my eyes to see if what I saw was real. It moved again, and I hid under my blanket. I really had to pee, but nope. I just put my headphones in and went to sleep. I do that too if I don't want to get up, but I really have to pee. I will force myself to go back to sleep because I don't want to get up.
I suffer from the liar, liar curse because I saw that movie. And in that movie, Jim Carrey says that if you try and hold it, it'll make it very difficult to get an erection or even become aroused when you get older. And since then, I have always been like, if I gotta pee, I'm a pee. I swear to God.
I'm a pee. I'm a pee.
I think it every single time. I get up in the middle of the night if I kind of have to pee because I'm like, one, that's not going to happen to me. And two, I'm not going to pee the bed. Not happening to me again.
Okay. I don't know. I don't get erections, so that doesn't bother me. Anyway, I fell asleep and I was awakened by my roommate, Haley, who slept on the other bed on top. She told me to stop breathing hard. I told her that I was asleep, and then I heard the hard breathing, and we assumed it was Casey, who was sleeping on the bottom bunk. We woke her up and told her to try to not breathe so hard, and it wasn't her. We could still hear the breathing. Oh my gosh, just imagine this. All of you are awake now. Disembodied breathing.
You all hear the breathing, and it's none of you.
We were tripping out. We all covered our mouths, and you could still hear the breathing, but now it was coming from the doorway. It was the ghost that was trying to pick up the cup. It's like, dude, guys, why are you freaking out? No one was standing there. So Casey was the brave one to get out of bed and run and close the door and turn on the lights. Saying this stuff happened in her house all the time. She is the one. She brought it.
I was going to say she brought it with her.
Oh, my Lanta. So then we all sat in Casey's bed, huddled up together. It was about 3:30 in the morning and the breathing stopped, but you can hear pacing outside the door and our drawers moving and closing. We texted our roommate Jackie in the room next to us, and she told us she heard someone crying. Initially,
it's like, no, that's just me. I'm really scared right now.
Initially, that was what woke up Haley. Then the breathing began. So Jackie joined us in the room, and when Casey went to open and close the door, she went fucking pale. We were all in bed and saw all the color leave her face, and then she said in a low voice, "We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay, guys." She didn't want to tell us what she saw because it wouldn't help. So that's how we spent the remainder of the night till 7 a.m. when the sunrise appeared through our window. Hearing the cups move, the drawers, and the pacing outside, 4 people in one bed praying, and scared as fuck. The sun was up and everything stopped. We were safe, so Jackie left her door slightly opened because she didn't have her key card, and she was returning to her room. As she was returning to her room, the door closed. We all grabbed our shit and noped the fuck out. We all left the dorm, went to class, and come nighttime, we all slept in the same room. All 6 of us watching Zaboomafoom. LL, kidding. We watch Disney movies. Damn it.
Well, obviously you're kidding. Zaboomafoom's not real.
Shut up. My friend Casey's mom came a day later with a Bible and some sage. She burned the sage and asked whatever it was to leave us alone because we needed to study. It's safe to say she saved our lives, sleep, and GPA.
That's good.
I have more stories, but I can email them at another time. Sorry it was a long email, but it was overdue. Love the potty and keep on creeping on. Potty meaning podcast. Love, Karina B. Thank you so much for that
really
story. It's a really
good.
Good story. It must have been so scary that you hear all this stuff outside.
I am like just tripping my balls out that I didn't find out what this girl saw, what this woman saw when she opened this door where she went pale and was like, "We're gonna be fine," and let someone else in and then close the door.
I'm sure she was just like, I don't want this to follow you guys.
Please tell her to email us because I don't want
to
to know. No, email
No.
us. Send it to the scarish
No.
email.
I don't wanna know.
I don't think it's transferable
No.
via email.
No.
I really want to know. And just put in the subject for Adam only.
The image of an angel is an angel.
I hate you. It's not Doctor Who rules. And they made that shit up later. Like, that didn't start like that. They just added it in. So Very, very curious as to what she saw. You don't have to send me a picture of it, like, obviously, but I'm very curious. And I think we all have an idea in our heads of what she saw. Something super effing creepy, but still, it's super interesting. I don't know how I would handle that situation. I'd like to think that I'd be the person that would get up and flip on the lights and close the door.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be, though. I'm just saying, like, that would be really, really fucking scary. Like, straight up. Like, if you saw
really
something,
scary.
The moment you see something, when you realize, like, that's not normal, then you start thinking, like, how am I imagining this? Am I still sleeping? Did I see this? Is it a weird trick of the light? As soon as you see something that you know is 100% paranormal and doesn't make sense in, like, the world that you understand, you don't know how you're going to react. You might just wind up peeing your pants. So it's just one of those things where I'm very curious as to what she actually saw. So,
yeah. It was a good story.
It was a really good story.
It makes me never want to stay in a dorm.
Not all dorms are haunted, just saying.
So my brother and me had a TV show, right? And one of their episodes was they brought this haunted doll into a dorm room. And I imagine dorms to be places where spirits just exist because there's so much activity.
It wasn't actually haunted. They just bought something that was really creepy looking and tried to make it look really creepy, like to give it a background, like as if it were haunted.
It was crazy. Anyway, dorms freak me out. I'm good with not staying in them. I never had like that regular college experience, and I'm good without it.
Dorms, basements, darkness, children. There's a lot of stuff that freaks you out, but most of them are very understandable. So I'm going to move on to my last one of the show, and the subject is 3 long stories. So I think we all know what we're getting into, so that's a good thing.
Sounds like 3 long stories.
Yeah, I think so. It starts out like this. Hi, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello. I first would like to say that whenever Robin has something red on, you can say, Red Robin, yum.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for giving me that, because I'm going to use that probably for the rest of my and or her life. Found you on Spotify. Shout out to Spotify. And sorry if I'm childish. I'm a teen. And then it says in parentheses, dab. My name is Keegan, by the way, and I'm a male. I think Keegan might actually be watching us right now. Yep, Keegan was the one that's on the Overwatch League.
Nice.
You can share this on the podcast. I have 3 scary stories. My first story is about when me and my cousins were exploring woods near their house. The coincidence. My second story is the time when I had some sweet dreams during some hard times. The sweet story. And my third story is about the time I skipped school and almost got kidnapped. What the fuck? They let us know that they sent this story and we were allowed to read it, which is good, because now we know that we're allowed to read this. So, goes on to say, story number 1. This was when I was about 9 years old. I thought you were going to sneeze. My cousins, in parentheses, the twin boys, and my older cousin, who's also a boy, just moved to a new town because their dad, my uncle, just got engaged to his girlfriend at the time and needed a bigger house. This was my first time spending the night at their new house. We all were just playing Black Ops 2. However, killing my cousins over and over can get boring. So I like that you just like toss out some shade right there. Yeah. It's like, God, killing you guys is so boring. So as it approached sunset, we all went downstairs to eat dinner. After this, we all went outside to the local woods to play airsoft. Nice. I used to play paintball, which I don't know if it's more painful or less painful, but it's always fun to shoot someone and not actually kill them.
I've never played any of these things. I had airsoft guns, multiple airsoft guns, but I only shot
at targets. Lame.
You're lame.
As we played, the night set in and we got deeper into the woods, and as it fell to night, we found a small cabin in the woods. We got creeped out.
Cabin in the woods.
That's what I thought of too. We got creeped out and went back to my cousin's house to get flashlights. As we did this, we watched YouTube videos that are, quote, scary-ish. This was about an hour of watching videos. It was now 9 at night, and my cousins go back to the woods to find the cabin. Next thing we know, we are trying to enter the cabin, and the door is stuck. And us being about 13 to 8, we do not use our flashlights to see what was behind the door. This was a little fishing cabin next to a frozen river, about 1 meter by 1 meter. So this thing is tiny. This is basically like a shed. So, and 5 feet tall. We found an open, this is like an outhouse. We found an open window, and I got all my older cousin's shoulders, and climbed through the window.
No.
I didn't turn my flashlight on and went over in the dark to the door where my cousins were hitting the door so I could walk over and open it. So you're just in this building by yourself, and it's dark.
What if there was something bad in there? What if there was something horrible in there?
There is what feels like an old chair blocking the door. I move it, and my cousins walk in with flashlights on. In parentheses, I have no brain. As we are exploring, we look around with the flashlights, and there is a chair under a wire that is in a noose-style rope.
No. Nope.
This was when one of the twins screamed and yelled that there is human hair in this old oven. How is there an oven in this place?
No.
We all ran out, and then the lights to a house in the distance turned on, and we ran to a nearby hill and watched as an old man ran into the cabin with a gun. At the time, I was scared, but now that I look at it, it's more crazy. It's more like a crazy adventure book. That's just like some...
That's scary, though.
Yeah, that's like some shit where you're...
Killed
This
you.
is just another My Favorite Murder, Don't Go Into the Woods thing, because it really seemed like... This sounds like a trap. Like, you guys are stumbling into some sort of an animal trap, but it seems at this point like this is just a trap set up for human beings that, I don't know, it's just like one of those things where you're going to capture a human and keep them. Well, not for long. That's super creepy. Okay, story number 2. At this time last year in December, so this was sent around December, I had no friends as I just started 7th grade. This is when in my city we start middle school. All my friends from elementary were in different classes or moved into different groups. I would get made fun of because I was an easy target. In parentheses, I'm thick with a bunch of C's.
Wow.
So this adds to me being a lone wolf. One person for a week would fuck with me and kick my chair. One day I got done and pushed his bitch ass to the ground. He doesn't talk to me anymore. I mean, sometimes you're going to stand up for yourself. Sooner or later, you're going to stand up for yourself.
When you stand up for yourself, people just...
leave you be.
Yeah. But
true.
Then that means if they cut you out of their life, they cut you out of their life. Not worth it.
I think this person wasn't even a friend. It was just someone who didn't even know them messing with them.
Okay.
But yeah, same thing when it comes to people you know. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself to them. The same thing happened to me again a month later. That's easy. Just hit them with your laptop. Sorry for the rant. I mean, laptops are expensive. Find something cheaper to hit them with. So I started to grow sad and get thoughts about killing myself.
Aw, dude.
Don't let those take hold. Push them out of your head. It gets better. You just got to ignore the assholes in life. The worst is when I started to get in fights with my family, who were the kindest people in the world. My stepfather just started talking about marriage, and I got scared and MAF. I don't know what MAF means.
Mad as fuck.
Mad as fuck. And started acting up like in the fights up above. This is when my dreams started. I would be standing on a ledge of a bridge, and all the people that I care about would walk by on the sidewalk and do nothing. This went on until I would be forced to sign up for wrestling, and the first day I met my new boyfriend/best friend.
Aww.
That is a day when an old man walking on the sidewalk that I never knew or saw walked over and helped me step down from the ledge and talked to me and helped me sort through shit. In the morning, I felt light and more happy. I have no more thoughts about killing myself,
That's
and now
awesome.
I'm as happy as ever.
Yay.
That is really awesome. And here's the thing. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm 34. So I still remember. It's weird to think about it, but I'm almost at my 20-year mark for how long it's been since I graduated. I was thinking about that the other day.
Oh, man.
I'm old. So I still remember this shit, though. I still remember going through this stuff. I had really bad time in 7th grade. My grandfather also passed away when I was in 7th grade, and he was a very important figure in my life. Things do get better. They're always going to get better, and things are always going to work out. And they might not work out like you want them to or like you hope they will, but they will always work out. And I've mentioned it before on the show, and like when I was a kid, AOL Instant Messenger was just starting, and everyone had their like little profile where if you clicked about me, you could like put like color text on colored background and have all these different things. So everyone had like quotes of their favorite things, and I had like a million quotes, and I started deleting them as I got older because I'm like, these don't apply anymore, or these are silly, or these are stupid, or these are cliche. And the one that I left in there, and it probably, if AOL Instant Messenger still exists and my account's still active, it's probably still in there, there was one that I realized I thought about all the time. And it was just, if you're going through hell, keep going. And I just kind of shortened it the older I got to just keep going. And I still tell myself that when things are tough, keep going. And I have trained my mind where anytime I have like intrusive thoughts or really dark thoughts or just kind of want to give up, I just think keep going. And it's something that I would suggest you kind of find for yourself. It doesn't have to be that, but something that you kind of attach onto. Shout out to Andrew Wiley, who just subscribed over on YouTube. Thank you for joining us.
What is that Killers lyric?
If you can't hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
That's why that's my favorite
really
song
like
by the
that
Killers.
song.
So yeah, I think about that one too. All right. So there's one more story on this email, and we're going to read it right now. This story makes me not able to go to sleep when I think about it. It's always a great way to start. And my email just jumped to the very bottom because apparently it doesn't want me to read it. It still makes
I'm kind of scared now.
It still makes me never walk down that road or that direction ever again. At this time, it was right before story number 2. Me and my mom's now husband were fighting because I just stayed up all night gaming, #Overwatch. I got mad and decided that I was either skipping school or running away from home. Skip school with a friend or don't. And also don't run away from home because your parents love you. Weird word, right? Love. Okay. I took my phone chip out with a paperclip and walked out of school before first period started. So this is straight up like you're going off the grid because you took the thing that they can track your phone with. I walked downtown and my plan was to go to McDonald's and get some water and then walk down to the woods and live off the land. As I was thinking about this, I crossed the highway next to my school and entered a big neighborhood. At this time, a car turns off the highway and onto the road I'm on and drove down the street a ways. In parentheses, this is a spooky car. I put in my earbuds and listened to some My Chemical Romance.
Yee.
15 minutes go by and I walk by the car and I think nothing of it. I am now 2 blocks past the car and I see the car go past me. So it's like they drove past again. I am now halfway to McDonald's and there's no point going back to the school and getting in trouble. And then it says YOLO and sorry for bad spelling. Took a break here to get my stuffed seal from SeaWorld because I'm sweating and spooked. So, okay, so they literally stopped while writing the story to go and get themselves like their stuffed animal. I walk some more about 1 or 2 blocks and then I start to look around for this car again. I spot it up ahead and then turn off my sound to listen to see if the car follows me. It doesn't do that. He rolls down his window and hops over the center console, in parentheses, desperate. This is all I know of his voice. I'm not looking at a pedo, so they didn't turn to look at this person. They just heard them.
Okay.
But what he said was, "Where are you going?" in a flirty voice. And after
That's
this,
super duper creepy, dude.
I walk past his car, and in a mad voice, he states, "Where are you going?" And then he gets out of the car, and I started to run. He ran after me, and then this is when I remember that I'm going to McDonald's. I looked around frantically and spot McDonald's, and I start to run, cutting through someone's yard. This is when I came back to reality, you know what I mean, Robin, and start to hear a construction worker working on a roof. And I heard the man's car go away. I now put this in my brain folder, titled as fake news. After listening to your podcast, I asked my boyfriend to walk down to the yard I cut through and talk to the owner. And he said that he was getting his roof repaired during that time. So there was a construction worker there. Then apparently this person just bailed after that. Thanks for reading the story and sorry for the bad grammar. I'm typing on my phone and in the car. Thanks again and shout out to Spotify. Feel free to share this on the podcast. Have a good day listening to the podcast when writing this.
It's the idea of getting kidnapped freaks me out because it happens. There are people out there that see someone walking alone and decide, oh, hey, you're by yourself.
Yeah, you're by yourself. You're vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like there's a video of some girl that little girl, like middle school age at the oldest, walking to school and someone's Ring camera caught it. And she's like walking and she's walking down this block and there's a car that's like slowly creeping behind her. And she gets to a car that's parked. And as the car tries to pass her, she like crouches down and hides behind it. The car goes past and stops. The guy gets out and looks around and she makes sure to like always keep a car between her and the guy while he's searching for her. And then he just gets in his car and drives away because another car is coming. And it's like, this is a person that was clearly following this little girl that they didn't know at all. And it's just something important to think because, we do have young listeners, obviously, because this person wrote in. And it's like, always keep that in mind. Like, you think it's not going to be you. And I know you hear that from old people. Like, I'm 34. I'm not that old. But you always think it's not going to be you until it is you. So it's like, it is much better to have, like, a strategy in your brain for how you would handle that situation. And also the idea of how to avoid it versus, like, it's never going to happen to me. And then you just blindly walk right into that. You know what I mean? So if I can say anything about those 3 stories, don't get kidnapped and never go into a place that's super dark without your flashlight, especially if you're going to go Scooby-Dooing and doing stupid shit as a kid, which I think we all did.
I think you need to check it out before you just shove yourself in there. Yeah,
be a little bit more careful and make sure that doesn't happen and always at least respect yourself enough to know that everything's going to work out sooner or later. And like, you don't need to internalize this stuff when clearly there's a lot of crazy shit happening in the external world. So thank you for sending that. We really appreciate it.
So this one is from Holly, and the subject is more of my mom's scary stories.
I always love getting the parents' scary stories in here. Yeah. They're so good.
It begins. Hey, Holly here from the story about the ghost on my stairs and in the house my mom saw and didn't tell us about.
I remember those. Also, hey.
FYI, Robin, the ghost totally walked back down the stairs into the darkness, which made the whole thing 10 times scarier.
That is scarier.
It's like ghosts know how to freak you out. They go through time perfecting their fear factor.
If you have eternity to creep someone out, you just get really good at it. And especially if it's just something like, just stand there. Okay, now walk backwards. nailed it. Like, you're not really putting in a whole lot of effort.
Maybe it's just like Monsters, Inc., where they have to get enough screams.
Like, they have a quota?
Yeah, they have a quota. And so they need to scare as many people as possible.
I'm sure it's exactly like that. That's exactly what the afterlife is like.
And places that are like Einfeld Ghost, maybe not that one particular, but places that are really, really, really haunted that get a whole lot of people scared, or where they put their A+ ghosts, where they're just like, you're the best ghost, you guys can go here, get all the screams. Anyway.
That's the big leagues.
The big leagues. Anyway, another story I have is when my mom visited this ghost tour thing at this old castle near us. Castles are always just ghost central, I feel like. I'm from the south of England, so when I say old castle, I mean an old one from the 1400s kind of old. Anyway, there was this whole tour that they did, and they ended the night on this seance where there were 3 spirits present. The first was a little girl who was playful but was scared of someone else, but wouldn't give the name of who they were scared of. The second one was a woman who was killed by her husband, and Mom said that she was just answering the questions they asked without any further info or anything. This is through a Ouija board. And then the final spirit overpowers everyone, including the 2 mediums in the room, and starts communicating through the medium. And the voice that came out of this woman was so frightening, she got goosebumps all over her body. She described the voice as almost dripping with fake charm. And this was the man that had killed his wife.
Wow.
Dripping
with fake charm. Like, I think everyone hears a voice in their head, and it's just about whoever you've met that's fake as fuck.
Yeah. Anyway, Mom says the whole mood changed and no one wanted to talk, really. And this voice is challenging them all and asking why they don't want to talk to him. And then my mom felt a hand slide across her neck and up into her hair. It's hard to explain properly, but like it was in her hair and massaging her head. She stood up and left the room without saying a word to anyone and refused to go back in. Like I said before, my mom's always been very in touch with spirits, but has not had many negative experiences. But this ranks in her top 10 worst ones. Thanks for reading.
Top 10? How many horrible experiences does she have?
Thanks for reading again and being an outlet to which I can tell these stories without being told point blank that I'm a liar and ghosts aren't real. Keep on creeping on, Holly. Insert sunglasses emoji here.
That's hilarious.
I feel like it could have been the guy that killed his wife and kid, because maybe he's like, let me feel up this other chick type thing.
What's really creepy about it is that this person like took over the medium and was talking through them. That's like straight up like ghost possession shit, you know? And then if you were also able to affect someone like that while possessing someone, where it's not like the medium's hand, but like you still feel something like that, like that's just like, just stay the hell out of that place, you know? Burn it to the ground and then salt the earth in like whatever circle you need to trap a ghost there. Well, it's a castle.
I don't know if you can necessarily burn it.
I forgot about that.
Those things are like,
let us know what castle it is so that we can visit the UK and go there. I mean, not go there.
I'm not. Yeah, I was going to say.
She's not going to go there. I'm very curious what castle it was, though, so I can do some research on it and see if there's other shit that's happening.
I would love to go to a castle one day. Maybe go to Ireland or something like that. Hang out in England, check out a couple castles. But I don't want any ghosts.
That's funny.
I'm good with the no seance thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to do any seances. Like, keep that shit away from me. Keep your candles.
No Ouija boards.
Keep your candles, keep your pentagrams, keep your Ouija board. I don't want anything to do with that. I just want to check out the really fancy old places.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that sounds like a scary thing to happen to someone.
Shit. I'd be freaked. I would be completely freaked out.
Your mom is a very brave person.
And when they're like, that rates in the top 10, it's like, send us the other 9. Jesus.
Right?
Like, that's some creepy shit. All right. So thank you to everyone who sent your stories.
Yes.
We truly appreciate you. If you have a story you would like to send us, email storytime@scarish.com. You can message us a bunch of different places. Facebook is facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Message us there. Twitter is @scarishpod. Instagram is @scarishpodcast. Most importantly, you can go to scarish.com, which is our website. Click on contact us, fill out that form, and it comes directly to us. Almost all 5 of the 6 emails that we read to you tonight came from the contact us button, because a lot of people don't have social media. A lot of people don't, want to send out from their personal account for whatever reasons, especially if it's something that's coming anonymous. So feel free to use that. And if you want to send us something that you don't want read on the show, but you're just trying to communicate because something creepy happened and you don't think people are going to believe you, we get a lot of those. Send them our way. We'll respond to you. Sometimes it might take us a little bit because we'll see something come in, and if it's not in the subject or at the top of the email where it says, don't share this, I just want to talk to someone, we don't know, because we just assume that it's a normal email that we're going to read for the first time on the show. So we will get to them, though, and we appreciate every single one that we get. We appreciate all of you folks. If you want to join our Discord or our Scary Spooky Friends group over on Facebook, you can by going to facebook.com/scarishpodcast and clicking groups. Or you can go to scarish.com, scroll down, and there's links to all of our social medias, including our Discord. And you can just click that, and you're right in our server. And
yep, we have Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, there's like 240 people, I think, right now in the Discord. It's a very active community. There's so many memes, and it's so nice to have a place I can go to and like send memes to my friends. We have a channel for Game of Thrones, which we're probably going to close at this point because Game of Thrones is over.
Yeah.
We have one for Haunting of Hill House, and we have just a bunch of different stuff. General mental health chat, which is us just bitching to each other because none of us are mental health professionals. We have an artist alley where people share their stuff, and it's a really great community, and we have you folks to thank for that, and we really, really appreciate it. A lot of people ask us how they can support us. I want to point out before we do the merchandise, or not the merchandise, but the money plug, basically, that the best way to support us is just to listen. And if you want to come out to a live show, Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, those are free. YouTube.com/scarish or twitch.tv/scarish podcast. It's a really fun time, and leaving a rating or a review or telling a friend about the podcast, that helps us so much. But for those of you who are looking to donate with moolah, Robin, how can they do that?
So you can go to patreon.com/scaryish-podcast, and those are monthly donations. We have a whole bunch of different tiers. In a couple months, I'll be sending out the summer badges and stickers that I will be making. And then we have tiers from $1, so you could donate from $1 and up. It's really... let us be your coffee, or let us be your candy bar. Speaking of coffee, we have a coffee, ko-fi.com/scarish-podcast. I haven't been practicing that. I'm just so good.
You found yourself a really good transition?
Yeah. And so ko-fi.com/scarish-podcast. And those are one-time donations. All those donations will help us upgrade our studio setup. If you guys have watched us on YouTube from the beginning of when we started doing these live streams, you'll notice we went from GoPro to regular camera with much better lighting. And it's all because of you guys. Thank you.
Not perfect lighting.
So
we
much.
still have shadows behind us, and the backlighting is going to help that. We had backlighting picked out, and then we had to spend it on something else, namely this trip to San Jose, which I'm super excited about. But that said, like Robin said, there's all these places that you can go to donate. Every little bit helps, and you can literally see the difference in our lives that you've made, and we truly appreciate it. But that said, someone over there said thoughts on Game of Thrones before we close the channel. That's in the stream chat. I have considered posting my thoughts on our YouTube channel. It's just not very scary-ish oriented. So
you should just post it on the Movie Pod.
I'll probably post it on the Movie Pod stuff. We don't really have a whole lot of stuff on there yet, so that'd be a good place. But it's literally just going to be me talking about what I thought about the end of Game of Thrones, as if anyone cares. So for those of you who might care, I might post that and share it with you, and we'll see, because the Movie Pod is actually a thing that's going to be releasing. I know we've said it a whole bunch. We've had to put it on hold for a bunch of different life reasons. But yeah, we have some time. The summer is now here. Robin doesn't have to worry about school and work. Now she just has to worry about working a whole bunch. But that said, we're very excited for all these opportunities that we've been given, because you folks have been so wonderful to us. And we want to return the favor by giving you folks as much content as possible.
Yeah, and remember, we are going to the Winchester Mansion on June 9th. So if you're in the area, or if you want to book plane tickets and hotel and stuff in the area, we're going to be there June 9th. We're going on the noon tour, so 12 p.m., and it's just the basic tour. And we're just going to hang out. We're probably going to go get food, drinks, whatever. And it'll be fun to meet a whole bunch of our spooky friends. It'll be cool.
We're excited. So thank you to all of you who watched us live. Thank you to all of you who listen to us on the podcast version. And that's everything we have for episode 68.
Yep.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it because I know everyone's thinking it. We're almost at the sex number again. Storytime next week will be episode 69, which means I'll have one crass joke. Robin will act shocked, and then I won't say anything for the rest of the episode.
Jesus, okay.
So, Robin, go ahead and sign us out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.